What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Great League. And in today's video, I was running a bunch of different teams on stream and having terrible luck, having some 0-5 sets and dropping a lot of rating. And so I decided I'm just going to run this extremely powerful dominant team in the Great League meta right now. It's very popular, which is why I've kind of avoided using it. But that team is Shadow Scizor, Azumarill, and Credilli, running Acid as the fast move. This team is just so strong. I was able to run this team for 4 sets, had all positive sets, and gained over 150 points. And so I'm going to showcase some of these battles with this team and kind of talk through how to play out some of these different scenarios. But this is definitely a team that I'm going to keep in my Great League roster next time Great League rolls around. Azumarill is so bulky and safe, Credilli so bulky and safe, and Shadow Scizor is just absolutely broken. So let's jump into these battles. As always, let me know down in the comments what teams you are running in the Great League and what is working out well for you. Marowak in the lead, so I like to go straight for the Night Slash and then swap into one of my Pokemon in the back. I go into Credilli as the safe swap here. The Bone Clubs and the Mud Slap damage are definitely going to add up over time. But because I got a shield advantage in that first matchup, I knew that I could comfortably still win switch advantage if I wanted to. They bring out a Fortress. Those Bug Bites are hitting for super effective, but I'm able to reach 2 Rock Tombs, which is really, really good for me. At this point, even though they've been double debuffed, I do not want to have to commit a shield in this matchup, so I'm able to absorb whatever they throw on my Azumarill here and see what they want to do. I farm them down, but I'm looking to swap out immediately anyways to clear that debuff. Now I have my Azumarill against the world here. They do have a Carbink in the back. I was able to get 1 bullet punch of damage on that Carbink, which actually did a nice amount of chip damage here. Gonna shield up these Bone Clubs from the Marowak, but at this point I felt like Power Gem or Moonblast would do more damage to me, so that's why I saved the shield for the Carbink in the back. This is going to be very close though. I am able to hit for super effective damage with my bubbles, but Carbink is so bulky. I think I throw on bad timing there, which is not great, but I'm able to reach that second play rough. And I really just need to get to another charge move here. They go for the Power Gem, so I can safely reach this play rough, which does more damage than Ice Beam. And we are able to knock out that Carbink there. Good game. Shadow Scizor into Dedenne. Kind of awkward matchup. We're both hitting for neutral here. Scizor would win the CMP tie. It only takes 5 fast moves for each of us to get to our move here. I go for an extra to see what they want to do, and then I'm just going to go straight for the Trailblaze to guarantee that I can ramp up my attack here. They do end up shielding. Totally fine by me. These bullet punches are chunking down this Dedenne. And because I have 2 bulky Pokemon in the back, I tend to like to spend my shields in the lead matchups. Out comes an Annihilate. I want to get that final shield, and then I can safely go into Azumarill to get to a play rough and knock out the Annihilate. Most Annihilates are running Rage Fist and Ice Punch as their charge moves. And I can safely get to this play rough before they even get to another charge move. I don't want to take any more damage on my Azu here. In the back is a Credilli, and we are looking okay here because they allow me to get to an Ice Beam. This is going to hit for super effective damage and really put me in a good scenario for the end game here. I still have a Scizor and I have a Credilli to handle the rest of their team. They go for Rock Tomb, which I'm able to survive. I bring out my Scizor just to force them to throw energy extremely fast here and trying to get off whatever bullet punch damage I can get. But at this point, there's no way they're getting through my Credilli, and we're able to take that and win that game. Good game. Goodra in the lead. This is very positive for Scizor. I can't tell you the number of dragon leads that are ABA weak to Scizor because they always end up staying in here. I like to overfarm. I'm fine committing a shield. They're still staying in. I have more than back-to-back Night Slashes here, so I'm going to throw one. They're just sacking their lead. I get the boost, which is ridiculous. Out comes a Shadow Sableye. They have to shield up that move. I'm able to reach another Night Slash here. Probably going to get the second shield. And they're committing to farming me down. I did not want to swap to clear my buff because look at how much damage that Scizor did to their team already. Absolutely insane. Whatever in the back, I guess didn't want to see a Azumarill either. They were also ABA weak to a Azumarill, so kind of interesting team there. Galarian Moltres in the lead, not great, but we're going to utilize the Credilli as the safe swap here. And I will shield up that first move. They're opting to stay in, so I'm just going to start ripping off these rock tombs and drop their attack. This acid is hitting for some nice neutral damage. If they go for Brave Bird, this will be enough to knock me out, but I should survive a fly. And so I let that go through. I immediately go for another rock tomb, and I'm really hoping that I can survive these sucker punches to reach another charge move. My opponent is not keeping track of my energy, and I'm barely able to reach this rock tomb. Down goes the Moltres. I have switch advantage. I have a shield advantage. I'm able to get my Azumarill aligned with this Marowak, and they are in a really tough spot here. Ice Beam is actually not going to be enough to knock out this Marowak. I just want to throw it immediately though, and guarantee that they don't catch on anything. In the back is a Diggersby. I'm going to go straight into my Scizor here, shield up the Fire Punch, go straight for the Trailblaze to hit for super effective damage, and this is a very, very solid win here. Azumarill is going to be able to handle that Marowak as well, no problem. The Fire Punch hits for double super effective on the Scizor, and pretty much almost always one-shots it there, despite Diggersby being so bulky. Okay, this is the dream lead for me, but I actually go against this team twice in this video, and I showcase both of these battles to show you how my opponent kind of makes a adaptation to the situation. Again, I was doing all these battles live on Twitch, live on stream, and so my opponents sometimes make very good adaptations if they battle me multiple times, and I do a really bad job of like paying attention to who I'm battling there. So I ran into a lot of Feraligatr safe swaps, and since playing this team today, I have decided that the way that I want to handle that situation is chip with my Scizor, go straight for the Night Slash, and then end up going Azumarill, regardless of what they want to do there. I've been going Credilli in that matchup, and then I've been running into some issues with the backline sometimes. So you're going to see me play that out in a couple of these matchups here. I go into the Azumarill mirror here. They still have a Dragonair in the lead. So this team is very good against dragons. Scizor has play against them. Azumarill is a great response to them, and Credilli can hit for neutral damage. They throw another Play Rough. They catch a Play Rough on their Ferrothorn. Amazing play. Now, I don't know about you all. I play on an iPhone 12, and ever since I got this phone, I've had so many problems with specific mechanics in the game. I've never been able to stop tapping and wait a turn, because every single time I do that, the game stops updating the fast moves or the visual fast moves. And so, like, yes, you could try to wait a turn and then guarantee that your opponent doesn't catch on you, but I'm just never able to do that with my phone for some reason, and so it creates all these uncomfortable scenarios where my opponent is able to easily catch if I'm using the same sort of fast move turn duration as my opponent. Hopefully when I get a new phone, or if they ever end up fixing that mechanic, I will be able to do the wait a turn, so you can guarantee that you throw in the middle of their fast move animation. A Scizor mirror match in the lead here. I end up losing CMP in these mirror matches because you can see my IVs on the screen there. I have a decent IV Scizor despite the CP being really low, but I like to catch the Night Slash on this Azumarill. And then they end up going into the mirror after they've done a lot of bullet punch damage and they stored a charge move on their Scizor before getting out. I believe they only stored a Night Slash though. I don't think they're quite at a Trailblaze. My Azumarill losing the CMP tie in this matchup as well. But I'm curious as to if this is a mirror team or not. So I'm just going to swap my Credilli, get an energy advantage here. The Ice Beam is going to hit for a lot of damage, so I will end up shielding that. They bring in the Scizor once again. If this is a Trailblaze, it's going to do a good chunk of damage. They are able to get there. Nice play. But if they shield this, their Scizor is so low. Okay, they do let it go. My Scizor is still healthy and has energy on it, and they do have a Credilli in the back. I go straight for the Rock Tomb to drop their attack, but my Scizor is in range of one Rock Tomb knocking it out. I'm just going to let them take me out here and see what they want to do. I have energy stored on my Scizor. And they bring in the Azumarill, trying to catch a Night Slash, but I farm them all the way down. I have 2 charge moves. I'm going to throw the Night Slash first here, and if they shield it, I can go for a Trailblaze. They do shield it up, able to get to a Trailblaze. This will easily be able to knock out the Credilli, and that is how we like to handle the mirror match with this team. If you lose CMP, catching Night Slash on Azumarill is very, very good. Regidrago in the lead. Scizor, totally fine with this. And I never really like to throw first because one Night Slash is not going to knock them out. They don't debuff me, and then they swap into their own Scizor. This is another very common team that I've been running into, like Regidrago lead, and then a Shadow Scizor comes out. I never know what's in the back though. I'm sure this team has been featured by some other content creators. So they do go for the Trailblaze on my Azumarill. This is just a very uncomfortable scenario here. I have to hope that my Credilli is going to have some play in the back. They go for another Trailblaze. Out comes a Stunfisk. So at this point, hopefully one Grass Knot is going to be enough to knock them out after this acid damage here. But I need to be heavily overfarmed here to guarantee that I can get a move off on that Regidrago. And I still have their Scizor I have to deal with. So definitely uncomfortable here. I also don't want to get hit by another Mud Bomb. We're at 100 energy, so I'm going to throw right here. Down goes the Ufisk. Out comes Regidrago. I'm farming as much as I can here. Gonna throw the Rock Tomb. And I really need to get a move on the Scizor. I actually think I should, so I think I misplayed this end game here. Oh, I was 2 away. And so I needed to overfarm a little bit more on the Regidrago. But I potentially would have been hit by a charge move there. So difficult end game there. My opponent played very well. So here comes that Shadow for Alligator safe swap, or normal for Alligator safe swap. And at this point in time, I was going into Credilli here. The Hydro Cannons do hit for neutral, and the Ice Beam does hit for super effective. But the back line that I see with this combination a lot, Credilli actually has more play typically into than the Azumarill does. I've seen this with Mandibuzz before, but I've also seen it with Jellicent and other water types. The nice thing with Credilli is, even though I had to go down a shield, I will get some value out of this Pokemon still in this lead matchup. So they throw on CMP here, and I believe I have a rank 1 Credilli, judging by the IVs there. So I'm losing CMP in a lot of these matchups. Rock Tomb is still going to be threatening here. I'm down 2 shields, and in the back is a Mandibuzz, but I swap immediately. Azumarill is a very hard counter to the Mandibuzz. So in this scenario, having the Azumarill for the backline was very, very good. But Credilli also would have been able to hang with this Mandibuzz as well. And that combination of Credilli in the lead and then Feraligatr safe swap. Honestly, the third Pokemon could be a variety of things, and I definitely encountered different backlines with those two Pokemon. So I was thinking that they were going to try to make a catch, which is why I'm over farming so much here. But they're staying in. They do shield that. And they're in range where potentially like one Bullet Punch and a Night Slash should be able to knock them out. They take me out here, but that's totally fine. They still have the Credilli. And they catch on their Credilli. Amazing play. So I no-bubble the Night Slash to be able to farm them down. And I'm one away from a Night Slash. Really well played to my opponent, despite being fairly hard countered there. Like extremely hard countered in the lead and the back. But very well played to them. They made that extremely close. Another Credilli lead, and then Feraligatr on the swap in again. So I'm always going to go for a Night Slash here because of their one-turn swap, it allows me to reach this before them, and they're not able to sneak. Again, I go into Credilli because judging by the previous matchup, I'm like, okay, there's probably a Mandibuzz or a Galarian Moltres in the back, so Azumarill should be a hard counter to that. Going to go for the Rock Tomb here. They were able to land a lot of damage on my Credilli, and I'm down a shield. So you can see once again the power of the Feraligatr safe swap. It is so good. Feraligatr as a safe swap almost always guarantees a shield advantage, or you can flip switch in your favor. My Credilli reaching 2 Rock Tombs here is very, very nice for me. So they're double debuffed. Rock Tomb is still going to hit for a decent chunk of damage on my Scizor, but I didn't know what they had in the back here. In hindsight, I should have shielded this up. It is a Jellicent in the back, and this is very bad for Azumarill. Very, very bad. They can just go straight Shadow Ball, but they have 2 shields, and I'm never going to be able to burn both shields with my Azumarill to land a Night Slash with my Scizor. Plus, they still have their Credilli, so this is just making things extremely awkward. So this is a scenario where if I chip with my Scizor on that Feraligatr, and then I go into Azumarill, that matchup is going to be more solid where I don't have to go into a shield deficit. And then I have a Credilli against a Jellicent in the back, even shields. Still awkward, but less awkward than the Azumarill into the Jellicent. Well played by my opponent. Okay, out comes a Feraligatr safe swap. I'm going to chip this, and again, hindsight is 20/20. I should go in with Azumarill. Like, I should absolutely go in with Azumarill, but I go in with Credilli. I shield up a Hydro, and I believe this battle was against Pyro Panda, who is a Twitch streamer that I actually just discovered today on Twitch, so shout out to them. Out comes the Ninetales again, and Rock Tomb would hit for a lot of damage there. Gonna let this go and see what they want to do. In the back is a Morpeko. So, yeah, this is really uncomfortable here. I should have, like, thrown a move with my Scizor. Even a resisted Night Slash there would have done so much damage. And then if they no shield it, I could potentially like bubble them down here. Or if they do shield it, then I could just reach one move with my Scizor here. But this Morpeko, so difficult to deal with. I had to call the Psychic Fangs right here in order to have a win con, but I shielded it up. And at this point, this little electric mouse just absolutely ruined my life. Well played to my opponent. I hard countered them in the lead very, very well. But if I would have just gone Azumarill into that Feraligatr, that would have been a very easy win for us, but well played to my opponent. Going to throw a Night Slash here. I get a shield, and then I'm going to go in with the Credilli. They land a Bone Club. I just need to get to a Grass Knot here. I will shield up one move here, just so I can safely ensure switch advantage. Over farming a little bit here, and then I'm going to go for Grass Knot. Rock Tomb would be resisted and not be enough to knock them out. They end up shielding that. So they're really trying to fight for switch advantage here. I will shield up this Bone Club as well. Now I go for Rock Tomb because despite it being resisted, I feel like this is just enough to knock them out. It is. Out comes a Dugong, and Credilli is able to get a parting Rock Tomb off on this Dugong. It drops their attack, hits for super effective damage. I have no idea what's in the back, but I'm going to bring my Azumarill because I can safely absorb all this energy here. And they're going for debuffs, so whatever in the back is also weak to Azumarill. I'm just going to farm up a lot of energy here and then swap out to clear this attack debuff. What do they have in the back? It is a Mandibuzz, totally fine for me. Able to get any charge move off on this Mandibuzz is very, very good. Even though it's resisted damage. Look at the power of Shadow Scizor. I just cannot even believe how broken Bullet Punch is as a fast move right now when you pair it with just a super attack heavy Pokemon like Shadow Scizor. I go for the Ice Beam here, which I think is actually a misplay. I should have went for Play Rough, and then I would have been able to safely farm them down. Ice Beam just puts them in this uncomfortable health range where I made this endgame way sketchier than it needed to be. I should have just committed to Play Rough, but honestly, I didn't really know exactly how much damage the Ice Beam versus the Play Rough would have done to that Mandibuzz, but in hindsight, Play Rough was the play there. Okay, able to hit for neutral against this Dedenne here, and again, we pace the same to these moves. This time I am going to throw on CMP, so I'm playing this matchup a little bit differently than the first time I encountered this lead. They shield it, despite that obviously being resisted. They want to ramp up their defense. It's pretty insane at how much damage the Thunder Shocks do to Shadow Scizor. They shield that up. I'm able to farm them down and have so much energy for whatever they want to bring in. Oh my gosh, it's a Diggersby. So I can safely go for double Trailblaze here. I'm going to overfarm a little bit and then see what they want to do. This Scizor is going on a rampage. See you later, Diggersby. In the back is a Ferrothorn. I throw on bad timing here. This is a big misplay here, actually, because if I would have timed this better, I think I wouldn't have gotten to another Night Slash anyway, so it ended up not mattering. But if they're running Flash Cannon, this is actually super sketchy, but thank goodness it's just a Mirror Shot. All I need to do is get to a Rock Tomb, and then I can land an Ice Beam with my Azumarill on the Ferrothorn, because after that attack debuff, 2 Power Whips are not going to be able to knock out the Azumarill. It takes them 8 Bullet Seeds to get to 2 Power Whips, and it only takes me 5 Bubbles to get to Ice Beam, so there's just no way they're going to be able to keep up with my pacing there. And so we can safely get to an Ice Beam to knock out this Ferrothorn. They do force the CMP tie, but you can see how much damage this is going to do here. 2 Power Whips, not going to be enough to knock out Azumarill, and we're going to be able to knock them out and take that game there. Good game. Scizor into a Dusclops. Awkward neutral matchup here. The Dusclops gets to these Shadow Punches in only 9 turns, and it takes 10 turns for us to get to Night Slash, so pretty uncomfortable. I shield almost everything with Shadow Scizor, again, because it is the Pokemon that is most likely going to get shields in response, and it's the glassiest Pokemon. The 2 Pokemon in the back of this team are so bulky that they really support Scizor well. Out comes a Diggersby, and because they got the attack drop on their first Scorching Sands, this is way more awkward for my Azumarill. They reach another Scorching Sands, and they're able to get to another one here. If I would have thrown the Ice Beam on bad timing, it would have ensured that I didn't get hit by that other charge move. But because they're letting their Diggersby go, and then they're going to be able to farm me with that Dusclops again. but my opponent miscounted my energy. They thought I was at an Ice Beam here, so they actually end up throwing their energy. Really, really good for me here. Out comes an Annihilate in the back. Oh my gosh. And so in hindsight, I really should have gone Credilli into the Diggersby. But I'm going to be able to burn both shields here, and the bullet punch damage has done enough where one Grass Knot should be able to knock them out. I know this is just a Rage Fist, so I cannot shield this up. Those counters are chunking, but I'm able to reach this Grass Knot before they can get to another charge move. I still have a shield. Out comes the Dusclops once again. I need to reach a charge move here. I'm one acid away from getting to a charge move. And thankfully, because they miscounted my energy on the Azumarill, I'm able to get to this charge move and take that game there. Really difficult game right there. Another Scizor mirror match. Let's see how my opponent wants to play it out. Also, shiny Shadow Scizor. I'm jealous of that. That thing looks awesome. I lose CMP again. I always shield. And I don't play with sound on, and so when we CMP tie like that, I'm not able to tell if they boost or not. But it looks like this Scizor has a lot worse IVs than previous Scizors I've played against. Because I make that catch, and look how much these bubbles are chunking. They're not going to be able to get to a Trailblaze. And they go into the Azu Mirror once again. I have a Night Slash banked on my Scizor, and it's still healthy. Whereas if they have a Credilli in the back, because I'm so healthy and the acid is going to do almost no damage, my bullet punches are really going to chunk that thing if I can get my Scizor aligned with the Credilli for any amount of time. So I go back into my Scizor here. I go for the Trailblaze, and I want to see what they want to do. They let that go through, and they're trying to acid down my Scizor. Look how much damage those bullet punches did. Gonna wait out the clock here because I know I'm gonna get debuffed, and so I do want to clear my debuff at some point in time. Yep, go straight Rock Tomb in this matchup, especially when everyone is full health like that. Grass Knot does do more overall damage, but the debuff of Rock Tomb is very, very nice. I make a very nice catch on my Azumarill here. That not only clears my debuff, but I'm able to save that shield. I farm them down, and in the Scizor is going to get destroyed. It has like no health, so able to take that game. A Regidrago in the lead, and then my opponent swaps into a Marowak. I always like to throw some chip damage here to see what they want to do. So out comes my Azumarill again, and I don't know what's in the back line. The response Pokemon that my opponents bring out, sometimes Credilli is a better response. Sometimes Azumarill is the most obvious response, like in this matchup, because you're able to hit for super effective damage with the bubble. But it all depends on what they have as their third Pokemon. It's a Carbank in the back, and they reveal it at this point in time. So I think I end up going immediately back into my Scizor. And look at all the bullet punch damage that I'm getting on this Carbank. Holy cow, they're staying in because they want to burn my shield. But Scizor just decimated that Carbank. Even though the rock throws were hitting for a good amount of damage on my Scizor, not able to reach another move there, but I end up bringing... Okay, big misplay here. Should have waited my switch clock out, because they go for a Breaking Swipe, and then I can't swap out, and they farm me down. That was a very, very bad play on my part, because if I get debuffed with a Breaking Swipe here, that makes things a lot more uncomfortable. They go for Breaking Swipe. Thank goodness it doesn't debuff me, but I can safely just go straight for Rock Tombs here, drop their attack. There's no way the Regidrago is going to get to another move, and there's no way this Carbank is going to reach 2 moves. We're going to be able to knock it out and take this game. So Scizor had play into so much of that team there. Another Shadow Scizor in the lead. We're going to play this the same way. Go straight for Night Slash. My opponent does not force a CMP Tide. They go for an extra one. I believe this opponent actually plays this in kind of a unique way. Okay, so we get the boost. Obviously, we're going to shield this. This puts us in a very good scenario. They go for the Trailblaze to guarantee that they can ramp up their attack. But I win the lead, and I have energy coming out of this matchup. Oh my gosh, it's a Bastiodon that comes out. I'm boosted. It's a Shadow Bastiodon. And even though my charge moves are going to be resisted here, I just want the bubble damage. I truly have no idea what they could have in the back here. Scizor lead with Bastiodon in the back. It's in a zoom rail, so that makes sense. That's kind of their anti-fighter coverage, but we have everything exactly aligned where we need it to. We're absolutely going to shield up this Ice Beam. It's going to be the move that's going to do the most damage, and there's no way my opponent's going to come back from that. Good game. Very fortunate with the boost in that lead scenario there. Chestnut in the lead. Holy cow. Thank goodness we see this here. Out comes a Typhlosion. Shadow Typhlosion. Very powerful save swap here because most of the water types that you bring out, the Thunder Punch is going to hit for super effective as well. I always have to shield once in this matchup. Then I'm going to throw 3 bubbles against their 2 Incinerates. So 9 turns against 10 turns to guarantee for optimal move timing. If they shield this, I can farm them down, but they most likely are just wanting to farm me down with Chestnut. It is so tempting to save this Azu, but it's probably double fire, and so I honestly just want as much chip damage as I can get here. They have to throw, which is really, really good for me. I'm down a shield, but Credilli can also hit for super effective against fire types. Out comes a Rapidash. What? When this thing came out on my stream, I was extremely surprised, and they have access to Flame Charge. This Incinerate damage is really ramping up. I'm hitting for neutral with my acid damage and going to be able to drop their attack with my Rock Tomb to try to be able to counteract this Flame Charge. Now they're going for the Drill Run. Going to throw another Rock Tomb here and see what they want to do. I swap into my Scizor immediately, and I'm able to get this Night Slash off before the Incinerate damage actually registered. But one Incinerate wouldn't have been able to KO me there, would have done massive damage though. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really enjoy using this team. It's very solid. If you appreciate the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all in the next video.